Hey, how's it going everyone, and welcome back. So, me and my team just beat the Prestige mode of the Leviathan Raid, which just came out earlier. Not gonna lie, it was actually quite a challenge for what it's worth, without being too ridiculous, or without changing the mechanics heavily at all. The only part we really struggled on was actually the baths, but that was mainly due to ads and not really the mechanics themselves. Once we got control of the ads, it was alright. I think the Prestige mode was fair, however I don't think it's worth doing for what you get in return. And I'm probably not even going to bother doing it again. I mainly just did it this one time just for the sake of doing it. The armor isn't anything new, just a different colour. If they actually increase the power level, then maybe it would be worth it, but they didn't, so there really isn't any point in doing the Prestige mode. Out of all of my drops, I got the chest piece twice and just a bunch of tokens, and the tokens aren't even worth it either because you can't get Prestige mode gear from the vendor. I think the best thing I got out of doing this was actually the exotic ornament for the Legend of Acrius, the shotgun that you get from doing the raid quest. It's called the Emperor's Pleasure, and I will say the ornament does look nice. It basically adds the raid shader to the weapon, making it white and gold. You also get this nice aura for completing it, but it's not exactly something worth purely doing the Prestige mode for. In case any of you are wondering what's different about each raid encounter, here's just a quick rundown. Starting with the baths, you do everything as normal up to the damage phase where you have to shoot the purple pots. After the damage phase, 4 of you will see a different symbol displayed in the centre of the room, kind of like on Carlos's forehead in the final boss fight, and you'll have to run to a certain plate corresponding to which symbol you see. This can get a little bit confusing because you can either attempt to continue on the plates you're stood on, or you can attempt to go back to your original plates, back to the original order, which is the way that we did it. As for the pleasure gardens, this one's fairly easy to be honest. There's just 2 more dogs that patrol the middle area of the room, so making your way from one side of the room to the other is a little bit trickier, but really it's quite easy. Those 2 dogs go to the inside of the rock on the right side of the room, and to the sort of plates or torches or whatever you want to call them, L2, on the left side of the room. For the gauntlet, there are going to be 2 scions that spawn every time you shoot the arrows, so you might have to switch up your method for doing this so that the people shooting pair up and rotate around the room. That way one of you can melee the first scion and the other one can shoot the other. Each player will also have to take turns of running because after someone has ran once, they'll be given a debuff called Proven Worthy, which means that they can't pick up the orb and run again, so it's best to figure out an order for when each of you are going to run. Then lastly for Carlos, when the Shadow Realm team calls out the 3 symbols, the person inside the throne room who kills the scion will be teleported and switched out with someone in the Shadow Realm. It sounds confusing at first, but honestly it's fairly easy as well. The main problem is just controlling the ads and making sure you don't die, obviously because enemies are going to be a lot tougher, and when you die you lose your revive token. So that pretty much sums up the Prestige mode. In case anybody is even remotely interested, I honestly can't imagine many people care about the Prestige mode, but if you're watching this video, I appreciate you. I know this was sort of a short video, it wasn't really meant to be anything in depth, just sort of a brief overview and rundown of what's new. I've recently been working on some more fun videos to put out, and in case you missed it the other day, I posted a video about having some fun with the shoulder charge in the Crucible, testing if it's possible to one-hit enemies with the Dune Marches. There will be a link on screen and in the description to that video. I'd appreciate it if you check it out. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.